Computer.
Good morning.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our weekly sales meeting. And today we're going to be talking about growing our business by using geographic farming. And we have as our guest speaker uh, a gentleman that I just got a chance to meet just a couple of weeks ago. But Chase, he and I have been in the room together many times over the past few years. We've been in meetings together, but we never actually got a chance to really meet. Casually, maybe a year ago, but officially 2 weeks ago. Chase is also he was a realtor with eXp Realty for many many years, and now he has a closing company. He's a closing agent. He has an office in Tampa, Orlando, all over the place. He's able to remotely close, but I'm gonna let Chase tell you all about that. But today, the thing that he's gonna really hone in on and to help us with is getting good at geographic farming. So, Chase, without any further ado, take the mic. It's all yours.
Sweet. I appreciate the intro. That doesn't happen much, so thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It's great to be here with y'all this morning. Just a little bit about me. Like he said, do have a closing company, Citrus Closing Group. We are EXP's preferred title company here in Florida. Show of hands, is everybody here in Florida? Is somebody out of Florida, or is this the Florida team? All right, Florida's in the house. Okay, love hearing that. Where is everybody at? You guys, I mean, there's only a few of us. You guys feel free to unmute yourselves and make this interactive. Where's everybody at?
Sarasota, Bradenton.
Beautiful. Okay, Mark, you the same?
Same, yep.
No relation to the famous pitcher, Mark Mulder, I imagine.
I'm 5 inches shorter and right-handed instead of left-handed, so no.
Okay, cool. As you popped up here, I was Googling Mark Mulder. What does he look like on the side? I was like, that's not him. What about you, Shelly?
Bradenton.
Okay, and
Braden.
Alexis, same area?
No, I'm from Georgia. I'm
Okay, George is in the house. All right, I love it. All right, sweet. So, title company licensed here in Florida. Been at EXP in the EXP world for a long time. We moved over in 2018. So, background on me, I was an agent and I was a sales director for a team called the Figueroa team. Or right now, we have 4 cities covering all over Florida. I don't work for them anymore, but definitely like always still proud of what they have accomplished. And we won EXP's Team of the Year in back-to-back years. So in 2020, we sold around 2,200 homes, and then in 2021, we sold around 1,700 homes, and that was just pretty much in Orlando. And my favorite thing is building frameworks and trying to optimize and maximize all these tools that are at our disposal. One of the tools that was at our disposal was something that was free in the MLS and they took it away from us. And we're going to be going over a lot of it today, and that was Remind. And there are some rumblings that Remind might be coming back, but the CEO of EXP, Leo, he's the founder of Remind.
Yes.
And so when we had this free tool, I was like, what? Saw him speak about it at one of the conferences. I'm like, what is this? He's like, you can do so much. You can run CMAs in here. You can contact agents. You can find list of expireds. But at the end of the day, what I got from Remind is that you can pull seller data from it, right? And so now that we can pull seller data, how do we utilize that to our advantage? How do we take that data and market to those folks? What are we using those filters for? So today is going to be centered around Remind and utilizing that tool. And I know some of you might be like, well, we don't have Remind. Like, what are we supposed to do? Citrus Closing Group, the title company that I'm a part of, we have Remind. So if there's ever a time you want to list, you want to do like a one-on-one consultation to where we can grab that list and show you the steps to take from there, we can 100% do that. And with us being an intimate group today, I'm hoping that we can do a few examples together of places we can target. Does that make sense? All right,
yes.
cool.
Quick question.
Go for it.
Alexis, do they have Remind? Do you have Remind there in Georgia?
I believe we do because I've used it before.
I think
Nice.
you do as well. I just want to make sure you can look in Georgia MLS or First MLS just to check,
Yeah,
but I
I'm in
think
the
you do.
MLS. I see Remind Pro under my products.
There
Look
you
at
go.
you. That's amazing. Yeah. A lot of MLSs have it included in their fees, which is amazing. We operate it with Stellar MLS over here, and they yanked it from us, but we went ahead and paid for it. So it's a great tool, and hopefully we'll be able to cover a lot of stuff today. I'm going to share my screen and we'll go through it. Everybody see it all right? Cool. All right,
Yes.
so we're going to go through what is Remind. I'm going to show you what it looks like on our end, the ROI from it. Now that you know what it can do, what are the ways you can actually use it and generate business? Like I said, I want this to be interactive. We're going to jump inside it and build some lists based on, places you want to target. And then what are the next best steps now that we have the data? How do we approach those opportunities? What is our sales cadence? Are we just sending out mailers and then calling it a day? What needs to be in this messaging to give us the highest chance of this working? And then I went ahead and built out this little package of steps and resources, talking about scripts, examples of what you can use. I have a template. With us being at EXP, we have access to Canva Pro. And so what you can utilize in Canva Pro is something called magic layers, which is you can just upload a template, hit magic layers, and change the different layers. So, for example, if I have I'll just give you guys a better example. So with magic layers, I can go in here and take a PDF and go ahead and edit every single thing on there, right? So you can have a standard template that you use and change what shows up on there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up Remind. Has anybody used Remind before?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
sweet. So we're familiar. So you guys know in Remind, there is so many different things you can search, right? I'll give you just an example. So I live in a zip code called 32829, right? If I wanted to just farm to my specific neighborhood, I could just send a bunch of things out to 32829. But I don't think that's the best use of my time. I don't think that's the best use of my money, right? And so what I can do in here is use different filters. Like I don't probably want to target any properties that are already on the market. So I can go here to off market. One of the things I like to use is ownership time, 10 to 15 years, home equity, at least 25 to 50%. And I may utilize this list and reach out to people that bought pre-COVID. And my whole marketing pitch could be something around the lines of, you don't know how much value your home has gained in the last 7, 8 years. You may be surprised at what the options you have. So that could be one list, right? I could do a list just based off of expireds in the area. If you guys are familiar with Ramon, I won't go too deep into it, but just know there's so many different filters you can use. And out of the filters that I've messed with and had success with, there's three or so filters or ways of going about this to get maximum ROI. And these are the three that I think are the best. Number one is community farming. It is, I live in a community called Vista Lakes, and I want to be the dominant agent in that community. There's an agent by us. He goes by the name of Ken Posick. He has a team called the Posick Group. And one of the things that I love about him is he's very transparent about how he runs his business. And he posts podcasts and video clips and so on and so forth. And he did something cool. He interviewed a bunch of his sellers over the last 2 years. And if they didn't have an extreme circumstance that made them move, like, a death in the family or a job transfer or anything like that, he would interview them and ask them, hey, why are you leaving Orlando? Why are you moving out of Orlando when, 5, 6 years ago you wanted to be here so bad? And the number one reason that he got from all these people was a lack of community. That's why they were moving out, a lack of community. And I feel like as real estate agents, who knows more about the community than we do, right? That's our job, is to be a local market expert. And so if we can create community and be a connector in our community, you are going to get so many more relationships within that community. And we try to complicate real estate a lot in terms of, yeah, I got to use this system or I got to go this route. But at the end of the day, this is all a relationship game. How many relationships can you turn into qualified opportunities? That's all it is. And so community farming allows us to kind of go about our everyday lives and build relationships at the same time. And if we're authentic with it, that's the business you want, right? Like back with the Fig team, we were a very heavy Zillow team, which is great. We sold a ton of homes. The problem with Zillow leads is every single time I jumped on the phone with them, it was trying to convince them why I was the right person, right? It was a little bit, it felt like commission breath, right? Like I was on the phone, it was a lot of, hard closes, it was a lot of asking the right questions, going down talk tracks, following frameworks. With community farming, once you've built yourself as the connector and a familiar face in the community, it's a lot different approach because people want to work with you and they already know who you are, right? It's nice to feel wanted as a real estate agent rather than always going after and hunting and hunting and hunting. You get to be a little bit more of a gatherer, if you will. And these relationships are very authentic, which I love. Niche farming. Niche farming is amazing. This is for anybody that is has a specialized skill. I have a coach and he says the riches are in the niches. And I love that. The riches are in the niches. And you can use this filters that we have here to find specialized opportunities. So, for example, one of the things I like to target is absentee owners. Actually, I have an agent who is 26 here in Orlando. His parents have a property management company. I pull a list for him, seems like every week, it's probably every few weeks, of absentee out of state owners in the area. And he picks different zip codes every time, usually by the college. And what he does with that is he calls them and he goes two routes. First route is, hey, are you tired of tenants and toilets? Yes. Okay, cool. Do you want to get rid of the property? And then we talk about he talks about how to sell it and the best marketing plan and goes into his listing presentation. Or the opposite route of, hey, are you tired of tenants and toilets? It's, okay, you probably need a property management to step up. Let me give you my presentation on how this makes sense, right? So niche farming, you can go after people that are in pre-foreclosure, so on and so forth. And then my favorite, which is circle prospecting. Is anybody doing circle prospecting right now?
Mhm.
Circle prospecting is definitely my personal favorite. My first year in real estate, I didn't do too hot. I was 20 years old. I still remember going on an appointment and somebody like always people ask, like I'm 31 now. I have somewhat of a baby face. I can't grow facial hair. It backfires a lot, especially being super young in the business. People ask me like, "Are you even old enough to drink? How long you been in real estate?" And I hated it. And I say that to say circle prospecting is a great way. It's the best way I can explain this. It's an easy way to just create conversations and you already have something backing you, right? You're using a proof of concept to already position yourself as somewhat of an expert. So it goes back to that convincing part of it, right? I didn't necessarily need to do that with circle prospecting because I was calling them with proof. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Perfect. And I'll give you guys some examples of the best way to go about it and do each one. So, community farming, you don't need to be the best agent. Community farming is for folks that are outside, right? These are for the extroverts. This is not for the introverts. This is something you're not just going to get away with sending emails and text messages and so on and so forth with. I'll tell you a story. The Figueroa team, when I joined the team, we were smaller. There were six of us, probably doing a couple, maybe 100, 200 properties a year. And there was an agent in our community. Her name was Brenda Colbridge. And for whatever reason, everybody, I don't know if they were scared of Brenda Colbridge, but there was an understanding that in our community, that was Brenda's community. And no one even dared to try it until Veronica one day was like, Well, there's only one of Brenda, and we have a team full of eight, and we live in the same community, and we've lived here for 10 plus years. We know a bunch of people here. Why are we just letting Brenda kind of just get all the leads or the people in the community? Why are we just kind of like giving up to that? And so we just started showing up. That's all we did. We didn't do anything super planned. It was the community would do something once a quarter, a July 4th event. They called it Avalon Aglow, which was during Christmas time. They did Christmas in July, all these little events, and we would show up and show out, right? Like at the time we were Remax. And so we would rent out these like giant hot air balloons and brand it, and people would do hot air balloon rides. Wine walks. This is me. This is a guy on our team, Juan, taking over my little DJ booth and DJing. We were just always showing up for the community. And when you do that, you build trust. And when you build trust, you give yourself a reason to ask for business or at least explore the opportunity of what it would look like. So, community farming is one of my favorites. And then I put on here Brenda to Veronica to Karen. Karen Wilkins, who is an agent in that area as well. And the thing I love about speaking about Karen Wilkins is I ask agents all over Orlando. I say, hey, you ever heard of Karen Wilkins in the Wilkins Way? Nope, never heard of her. Which is funny because Karen Wilkins, for our title company, probably sends us, if not the most business, definitely top three every single month. In that area where we are from, Avalon Park, she dominates. She dominates that area. She went deeper, not wider. She doesn't do all of Orlando. She doesn't do every area. She just specializes in that area. And how does she get the most out of it? She's not cold calling. She's not, you know, circle prospecting and taking listings and going from there. All she's doing is being a connector in the community. So how is she able to do that? Well, in Remind, it's pretty easy. So I can go to Remind and I'll show you guys the area. I can simply type in 32828, which is the area, and Remind is going to pull me 15,000 results of all the owners in this area. And Remind isn't perfect. If you've got a list of 10,000, you'll probably get, I don't know, maybe 40 to 50% phone numbers and emails. But that's a lot of invites to be able to send out and invite people to community events. And even if half of them show up, they're typically bringing a friend, a family member, so on and so forth. And what do we do? Like my family is all from Long Island, right? And it didn't start off everybody moving down here at once. My mom moved down here when she had me. And then what does she do anytime something's going on in the community? Calls my grandmother, calls her sister, calls her brother. You got to get down here. Florida's amazing. And what happens? Everybody's down here now, right? Neighbors like to pick their other neighbors, and people are proud of their community when things are going on. So if there's an event, like Mark, let's say you have a baseball. I'm just using you as an example for baseball again. Let's say you have a baseball event. If you invite half may show up and bring the other half in just friends and family members and so on and so forth. No one likes to go alone. And so it's an amazing way to build up your database. And remember, farming takes time, right? This isn't something you show up to one event. I had a client call me, a realtor client. She's like, "Yeah, I sent those mailers out, nothing happened." Like, yeah, of course. Not how it works, right? That's why they call it farming. You got to make sure the soil is right. You got to water it. You got to make sure there's nothing else around it. Make sure the bugs aren't there. I don't know what type of animals everybody's got in the area, but the squirrels aren't eating it and all this other stuff, right? So it does take time. What we're trying to do is get in front of them so much that we make ourselves familiar. Because you can be the best, but if you are not seen, this doesn't work. So I'll give you an example. Does everybody know the song Hey Ya by Outkast?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and sing it just so I can make sure everybody knows it. Well, the thing I love about Hey Ya is they have I didn't know this, but record labels have this simulator, if you will, where they can put in a song and based off of the BPMs, based off the melody, all these different things, this simulator can give it a score. And let's say zero is, hey, please don't ever put out this song. Don't ever tell anybody you made this song. To a hundred being, hey, this is for sure a number one hit. Hey Ya by Outkast got 100, as it should. It's very catchy. So they put it to radio. They said, we got to get this to radio ASAP. And they put it on radio and they find out that every time Hey Ya comes on, people keep skipping the song, which is crazy because Hey Ya, they just put it through the simulator. We know Hey Ya now. It's a hit record. But people kept skipping it. And so they tried something. They sandwiched the song Hey Ya with familiar songs that you and I don't even like the songs they play at the grocery store, like the Arms of an Angel song. You know what I mean? Maybe some Sugar Ray, and they just sandwiched it right in between. Hey Ya became a number one hit because they sandwiched it right in between songs that we don't necessarily like, but songs that we are familiar with. And that goes to show you that you can be great, but if you aren't familiar, this isn't happening. So you can send out the best mailer in the world. You can show up to one event and that event be the best thing since sliced bread, but you have to continuously make yourself familiar for this to work. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Mhm.
All right, cool. So give you some examples. This is Karen Wilkins and the Wilkins Way. These are some of the examples they do in the community. So if you're like, hey, the community farming route is what I want to do, here are some ideas. The easiest thing to do is create a community Facebook or Instagram page. And if your community already has one, see what the engagement is like and play off of that. If the engagement isn't there, maybe you just create an events page. I'll give you guys an example. So this is core fact. This is stuff we use to send out flyers. So I'm going to show you guys one. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
So she posted one. She sent a mailer out, and it was the Sanctuary Community Events Hub. They already had a community page. Here's the Events Hub. Here's anytime we have an event, this is where you need to be. 2,000 people joined that group. And now she has those 2,000 people to market to day in and day out. Right. So that's where you can post HOA meetings. You can get creative with it. You could do a monthly newsletter. So this is one of my other clients. He lives in a community called Bella Vita. So we created a physical, what would you call this? Newsletter. And it's like I don't know if you guys have ever gotten in the mail from like an Italian restaurant. They have like a pizza spot. We'll have those little trifold brochures. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's what we're sending out. And it's just little things like a raffle to get more information. Remember, Remind has half of it. Here's how to get the other half. There's probably local businesses in your community that are looking to do the same thing as you. So get them involved. And then little things like this, like save the date for this next big event. You can host the events. You guys have access to the MLS. New neighbor welcomes. You can go back the last 30 days and see what homes have sold. New neighbor welcome. I told David, I think I told you the story. I had this guy in our community, Sal Capolino, Italian guy from Jersey. And anytime you pass Sal Capolino's house and his garage was open, whether you wanted to or not, you are getting a 30-minute or hour-long lacrosse lesson because he loved lacrosse. And people in our community, every kid and he would give you a stick and a ball and tell you to do, throw it up against the wall on the side of your house for an hour. And then when you saw him again, hey, how's it going? You signed up for anything yet? He was just somebody in our community that cared about the kids, but also cared about this game that he loved so much. And like those stories need to be told. My next door neighbor for Mother's Day, for whatever reason, the community I live into has a lot of older, elderly people. They went around on Mother's Day, and I don't know how they knew this, but they went around to all the elderly moms here and knocked on their door and gave them cookies and a balloon. Like the community should know about that. That's what builds community is highlighting those faces to show like, hey, we should be proud, we should be proud for where we live. And those are influencers too, right? They do it. Now everybody else feels like, hey, I should be doing something like that too. So here's just a few other things that you can do. This is kind of your piece, right? Your market snapshot. Your homestead reminders when it's time, or in hurricane season, hurricane tips, a vendor list. These are things that you can put via email or you can send it out as such. A few other ones. Teacher Appreciation Week is huge. If you guys can get into schools, easy, right? Show up, hey, Teacher Appreciation Week, we want to go ahead and just sponsor a lunch. And through that lunch, you got a QR code that people can scan and you're able to get more information and ask more questions, right? The Wilkins Way, they did prom photos. I don't know about y'all, but around here, everybody typically meets at the same spot for like the prom photos. And so one of her agents went out there, rented a couch, the little background with the little props, and hired a photographer. And they took professional photos. And if you want those photos, what do? You scan the QR code, fill out this little survey, and now they've got your information. But they feel value because you went out of your way to pay for something, or it doesn't even need to be cost related, but to be in front of them and make yourself familiar. We're going back to school. There's an agent in my area, Giselle. The first day of school, she does what's called moms and margaritas, where like and her whole thing is like, hey, I'm so sorry, moms. Like you've been with the kids for 3 straight months, no break. So when you go ahead and drop your kids off at school, come to this little Mexican restaurant that's right around the corner, and we'll treat you to margaritas as like congratulations, the kids are back to school. And it works. Back to school drives, movie under the yards, our movie under the stars, ice cream socials, little things like that that can give you opportunities to get in front of people. And you can utilize other vendors to do this where you are either not coming out of pocket or coming out of pocket very minimally, right? Where you can have a lender sponsor, title, insurance, roofing. They want the same thing you want is to get in front of more people. They just may not have the time or commitment to be able to do it. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Any questions so far? I just want to make sure that this is all making sense and there's value being added. Anything that I'm missing or dive into deeper or anything like that?
This is good stuff.
Cool. All right, I'm happy to hear that. Biggest farming mistake. I hear this all the time. I want to farm this area because that's a gated community and that's where Tiger Woods lives and Shaq lives. And hey, sounds like a great idea on paper. Where do you live? Oh, I live 45 minutes down the other way. It doesn't work like that. You have to be a part of the community to be able to create community. So this is just an example of it doesn't just stop at the events. You have to live this life, right? If there's a weekly hit workout in the community, you want to be a part of it. The wine walks and the community events, but people can see authentic and people can see what's fake, right? You want to target and community farm your community because you actually love the community and care about the community and love the people in it. This isn't something that you can fake, right? And so be a part of the community and ask yourself, number one, do you live there? Who do you know there? Do you go to events? What events would you want to see here if there isn't any events? Once again, you're playing connector, you're creating these events. And then what businesses are involved? Do they know you? So on and so forth. With farming a community, you're not leading with real estate, you're leading with who you are. And if that relationship is genuine and you become familiar by doing different layers of reach out and events and so on and so forth, people are going to be curious in who you are. There's something called the law of reciprocity, meaning if I continuously give you value, 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 you feel, I don't want to say indebted, but how can I help you? And that's how a lot of these relationships form because, Chase is always doing stuff in the community. I got to learn more about Chase to see if there is a way I can help him. The same way people give you referrals is through the law of reciprocity. David, you did an amazing job. I want to make sure that I can help feed your business so you can have that same great experience with other people as well. All that makes sense?
Yes.
All right, what if geography doesn't matter? What if, the community stuff sounds cool? I'm an introvert. That's not really my thing. I can kill it on the phones, but I'm not going to be outside like that. I'm too busy. Niche farming. Niche farming is identifying a problem or opportunity and having a solution to it. So I gave you guys the example of the younger guy in my area who targets the absentee owners out of state. This is where you can utilize your relationships with investors. Do all of us work with investors or typically just people buying and selling? You guys can post in the chat, unmute yourself. Let me know your business.
Mostly just buyers and sellers for me.
Okay. Okay. And how do buyers and sellers work? They buy what, every 5 to 7 years?
In Florida, that's correct.
Yeah, it depends, maybe sooner, maybe later, but on average every 5 to 7 years, right? And
Yeah.
we spend so much time going after the great thing about working with investors is you don't got to show them 10 properties. As long as the numbers make sense and it's a good deal, not only will they buy one, but I've had an investor buy four in a year from me, as long as the deals make sense. And in a market like this, where there's not as many maybe pending sales going on as before, having an investor in your back pocket is huge. Because if you can build your book of 10 investors who are consistently buying 2 to 4 deals a year, I mean, what a career to have, right? And that compounds into other things and so on and so forth. But going back to Remind, right? So there's different filters we can use. We can go after those absentee owners with occupancy status, right? We can go after people with home equity that's through the roof. This is, if you don't have access to Remind, one of the things I would probably tell you is get with a lender. If you're, hey, I want to use it, but the cost is a little too much, get with the lender. If I'm a lender and I can see how much home equity people have, oh my gosh, I'm banging the phones talking about, hey, do you know you can refi, cash out refi, and get all this extra money and then take that money and put it over here? And now instead of one property, you got three properties. That beach condo you wanted, you got it. A lot of, we're in real estate, so we know these things as far as like, cash out refinances and home equity lines of credit and so on and so forth. A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
And so if you can be that resource to a lot of people, you can save a lot of deals and become once again that connector in your area. Expired listings. My favorite thing to use is I like using, and I always pronounce it wrong. It's this list pendants. Does anybody know what that is?
Yeah.
Talk to me, David. What is it?
List pending is that means someone who's about to be foreclosed on, and their name is in the county. They've been notified, and they're on a list, and they've been notified by the bank and so forth that we are started foreclosure proceedings on your property.
100%. 100. It's getting real now. Hey,
Yes.
you missed the payment. We let it slide, but now we just, so what list pendants is there's a lawsuit tied to that property. 90 something percent of the time, it is because the bank is looking to start the foreclosure process on somebody. Y'all tell me what's a better option. We got option A. Somebody is behind on their mortgage. The bank just filed a lawsuit on it, and they don't have the money to get back to where they are. They don't know their options. The house is in terrible condition. If they can't afford to pay the mortgage, you think they can afford to keep the AC running smooth and, the lawn care? No. So a lot of these times, not only are these properties in bad situations with the owner, but bad situations as the house itself. And so if you can come in and give them an outlet to where you put a little cash in their hands, they don't have a foreclosure on their record for what is it, 7 years? I think it's 7 years where we live, right? That's
Hmm.
a better option a lot of the time. So I like going after that. And once again, those investors, if you can build that relationship with them, it's a lot of times it's double-sided. Meaning, if I can find a good deal where somebody's in a distressed situation and I can provide them a resource and my investor can, solve their problem with a cash offer, that investor not only is going to work with me, obviously I'm getting paid on the buy side, but that investor is going to go around and throw lipstick on a pig, throw the little, change the roof out, do the interior. And now they're reselling it 6 months later. And who's the agent? We are, right? And so Florida, I believe, has the highest foreclosure rate. And then the Tampa area is number one in the nation as far as foreclosure rate.
Wow.
Um, you got a lot of opportunity there, I'll say that. And that's not something you're coming in and it is a difficult conversation. I don't know if anybody's done like wholesaling or anything like that. these conversations are tough, right? Not only, like I said, not only are the houses in distress, but the people are in distress too. So this is for somebody that is empathetic, understands the situation, but is also willing to have hard conversations of like, hey, you've got two routes. This one, foreclose, you get nothing. It's on your record for 7 years, or we put some money in your pocket, or list the property if you have time, and so on and so forth. All that makes sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
I like it. I'd rather, I'm not a hard close kind of guy, so I don't do niche farming as much. My favorite is circle prospecting. Can somebody give me an example of what circle prospecting is? All good, I got you.
Yes, I can.
So go
Um,
for it.
It's where let's say we sold a house from EXP got sold in the neighborhood last week.
Hmm.
We could use the momentum and the sale of that property or the just listing of that property to prospect to people in a circle around that property and use that as my marketing pitch to
Love
reach
it.
the people in the area.
Couldn't have said it better myself. I love what you said about momentum. What we're doing is we're capturing momentum of a sale, whether it's just sold or we're capturing the momentum of excitement of a just listed, right? And there's a saying in real estate that I love, and it's listings have babies. They have babies if you circle prospect. If not, it's just that one listing and it's done. I'll give you an example. So I have a client, his name is Josue Soto, also part of EXP and also part of NAREP. And he had a property in Davenport, which is probably right in between us. And the average days on market in that community was 119, I believe. Josue sold it in 3. If he just sells it in 3 and leaves it alone, nothing happens. But with circle prospecting, we want to capitalize on the change of narrative. Because Alexis, like if I was an agent in your area and I sent you a message and said, "Hey, the average days on market in your community is 110. I sold it in 115." You're like, "Okay, cool. So you're just the average agent." But if I said it's 119 and I sold it in 3, the thought process is what? Hey, this guy must be doing something different, right? Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, I want to partner up.
Yeah, what is this person doing? At the end of the day, it creates curiosity, right? And if you create curiosity, you're going to have conversations. And it's people that may not have thought about selling before, but if they are going to sell, they know they're going to go with the person who sold it in 3 versus the, 99% of the agents in the area sold it in 99. So what did we do? So let me see if I can actually find the actual file that I can show you what we did. But we just did a number of things. It started off with just sending out a mailer. Let me find it for you actually, guys. Give me one sec.
You know, that is really true. We had an incident in our community where a home went on the market for $1 million
Mhm.
and the agent sold it in a day
Oh,
and they
wow.
sold it for the list price. And so the resident next door said, I want this agent to sell my house and I want it for the same price because it was the same model home.
Hmm.
And that home has still been on the market now for about 4 months or five
Hmm.
months or so. But that works to your
Yeah,
point. It works because they didn't know anything about this agent. It wasn't an agent in our community. We do have agents in our community who basically run things as it relates to selling homes, listing homes. Um, but they didn't want to do business with anybody but that person because that
right.
person sold that house in a day for list price.
Yeah, it's a change of narrative, right? And it's a proof point, right? Like we look for proof points when we buy anything. I mean, I'm on Amazon. I wouldn't say me, more my wife is on Amazon a ton of times. Like probably 5 times during the day, I get the random notifications. This is delivered. This is on the way. But I know for me, when I am on Amazon, there could be 2 similar products. They could look exactly the same.
Mhm.
One could be $5, one could be $10. If the one for $10 has 1,000 reviews and it's a 5 star and the other one has nothing, I'm spending the extra $5 and going with the ones that, have the reviews. Why? Because those are 1,000 proof points that are saying, hey, I tried it with this person, it worked out. And
Mhm.
I think in real estate, it could be the same thing. Um, so here's what we did. So it was 114 days to sell. Sorry, I told you guys 119. We sent out an email first. Hey, the average home and it's taking currently 114 days to sell. Last week we sold this property in just 3 days. We utilized our proof points. With 33 five-star Zillow reviews, our team focuses on helping homeowners maximize their sale price and time spent on the market. Because less time means less showings and more money for your home. And then we have a call to action, right? If you're curious what your home might sell for in today's market, get your free cash offer today, which leads them back to their website, right? You can use a Google form for that. You can use anything for that. But once again, like, want to make ourselves familiar. We don't just send that email. We sent a mailer out with pretty much the same thing. Keeping the similar message, showing the property. We did Facebook and Instagram ads. Has anybody ever ran an ad before on Facebook or Instagram? Okay, David, I think we were talking about this before. Usually, when you run an ad on Facebook or Instagram, it gives you different things you can select. So it would be like this age, this area, these people interested in this. There's also something in Meta's business suite, which is both Facebook and Instagram, where if you upload a CSV file, and it has people's names, emails, and phone numbers, which we can get from Remind. What it will do is pull in that information and take those emails and names and so on and so forth and match it with any Facebook or Instagram accounts. So you're able to spend less and maximize who you're actually trying to reach out to rather than just, I think it's would be this person. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So we spent time doing that. Once again, layers, layers, layers. And then
What he
yeah, go ahead.
just said is that's gold, what you just heard, because when you try to market anything through Meta, remember, because when they ask your industry and you say real estate, you can't, I don't think you can do an age thing anymore because then we can't discriminate against people
Good
because of
point.
their age, remember. So you can't put an age thing, but if you can upload a CSV of your your list of names and email addresses that you got through Remind into Meta, and then it target those people that you don't have a Facebook or connection or Instagram connection with, but now you're actually marketing to them through Meta. It just totally amplifies what you're doing with your marketing with using Meta. This is gold. And
Appreciate it.
it doesn't cost anything more to do what he's saying. I love this.
Yeah, if anything, it costs less, right?
Yes.
Because you probably have the same budget in your head as what you want to spend. The difference is before maybe half your budget was going towards the people you wanted. Now you know exactly who you're going after. And so if your $50 budget got you 10 days in front of 100 people, now it gets you in front of the 50 people you wanted, but for 20 days or 25 or whatever. Once again, creating that layer and, making things more familiar. And then I'll send you guys all this stuff, but I put together a bunch of scripts, call scripts, text scripts that you can use based on your personality style. So I have some that are like a hard close, and then I have some that are, very curiosity, soft approach. So for example, the mailer that we sent out, one of the approaches that we can use, let me see if it's on here, some mailer follow-up. It's really just like, hey, hey, Sally the seller, it's Chase. I'm not sure if you saw, I sent mailers out to the community. We sold the home on JB in 3 days when the average day is 114. A lot of the neighbors have been taking that QR code and scanning it and wanting a free home estimate. I'm going to knock them all out on Wednesday. I just wanted to do one last check and call everybody in the neighborhood and see if you wanted me to run one for you as well. Boom. Now we have another way to get information, but now we get more information as far as like, have they thought about selling? What does their house look like? The condition. And once again, all we want is more opportunities to talk with people. So I'll send you guys this so you have it. And this is real. he generated another listing from this stuff. So we did a, world travel, word travels fast in the neighborhood. One of the people who responded to his mailers ended up listing his home a few streets over, right? And so we sent that out. Hey, you're not the only one that's thinking about taking action. John down the street, he actually took action too. He's selling his house. He was blown away by our marketing plan. He didn't know he had that much equity in his home because he bought in 2013. He didn't realize that during COVID, his home went up 30% or whatever it may be. But you guys get the point for that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, sweet. And so there's a few things that you guys might want to write this down, a few things that you can utilize for circle prospecting. There has to be um, a genuine change of narrative or a unique value add. Give you an example of unique value adds would be timing. Timing. Think about the reasons why people would go with an offer over the other, right? Timing of people choose cash offers not because they get the most money, but because they sell quick and they don't want people walking through their homes and they got the dog and the baby and they got to step out and take a walk down the street every 30 to 45 minutes because we have a showing. And then they left the lights on. You guys get the point. So selling fast because selling fast is convenience, right? Multiple offer situation, right? Average list to sell price, if we're familiar. So for my area, the average list to sell percentage is like 95%, which means if I have a house listed for 100,000 on average, it's selling for 95. If we sold it at 102%, that's huge, right? So we want to utilize those things. I'll give you guys examples of other ones that we've sent out. So this was last week. So this is one of the mailers we sent out. This is the property management guy. So the average days on market in the area is 73. He sold it in 44. It
Mhm.
was the highest record in our community as far as sales for 2026. This is probably bad to say, but you guys can use data to your advantage. Just sold a new record in our community. You know how many homes sold in that community this year? 5. It just happened to be the biggest one. So of course it sold for the most in the community, but the neighbors see that headline and they're like, that's interesting. That's interesting. Once again, he has the change of narrative up here, right? The QR code, that's the call to action. And then once again, we're going to hit it with layers. So once these goes out, we give it about a week and then we call with that script that I talked to you guys about as far as like, hey, I don't know if you saw, but we sent out these mailers. We had the highest sale in the community. A lot of neighbors are asking us to see how much their home is worth. I'm going to knock them out on Wednesday. Do you want to be a part of it? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
So these are the three things. I always use the example of billboards. I was talking to David about this. I probably spend 2 out of my 7, 2 days out of the week in Tampa, Bradenton, Apollo Beach, Fort Myers. I'm always going down the West Coast, right? A lot of our business is out there. And it always starts off the same. I get in the car, I'm gonna be good today. I'm gonna be good today. See the McDonald's billboard, breakfast. The bagels are back. I'm like, oh, those bagels are good, but I'm good. I don't need the bagels right now. And then 30 more miles driving down, and it's Free Fry Friday. Oh, it is Friday. Wow, I could go for some free fries right now. That sounds great. And then it's the Shamrock Shake is back. The McRib is back. And sure enough, if I'm stopping for food, I wasn't even hungry before, but an hour in, I've seen so many of these McDonald's ads. I'm pulling into McDonald's and getting my free Fry Friday. And that's what happens with layers. You make yourself familiar and it feels normal to take action on these things, right? So layers is the most important part of it. Just from what I've seen with the agents that have success with it and the agents that don't, is they do one thing and give up. Hey, I sent the mailers out, nothing happened. Okay, did you follow up with the phone call? Did you follow up with the text? Sometimes you guys know this, the fortune's in the follow-up. That's why I have this free home estimate form. This essentially, this is what, let me go back to it. This right here, the QR code, I think the best thing to do for it is some type of form where it's either a cash offer or a free home estimate. And I'll send you mine and you guys can copy it and change it. But the cool thing about that is you get to be a resource as an agent. And that's big, right? And so, for example, if someone put on here that, hey, they are interested in selling, but they put here that their roof age is 15 years plus, or, none of these have been updated, you can have that conversation with them as far as like, hey, I saw that you are looking to sell, but I saw that you also said that your roof was 15 years old. How old is the roof? Man, it's like 20 years old. That's why we haven't sold yet. Oh man, I get it. Like it's tough to sell with a 20-year-old roof and you don't want to sell at a discount, right? And then you can provide a resource. So down here we have a roofing company we work with called Bella Roofing. They do paid at closing. Does anybody do that over there as far as roofers go? If they
Yes. Mhm,
That's huge.
mhm.
And just giving people that resource of, hey, if that's the only thing stopping you, I have this company, ABC Roofing, they'll actually put a new roof on and get paid at closing. So you don't even need to worry about, that upfront cash or anything like that in the situation. So once again, just being a resource for things like that. You can be great. It's supposed to say you can't be great and invisible. But yeah, you can't be great and invisible. Once again, the goal is to make yourself familiar with whatever it is that you're doing, specifically circle prospecting and geography farming, right? So the calls, the postcard, the Facebook ads, the community events, the newsletters. This is the goal. I see you everywhere. I see you everywhere. There's a saying, there's a great marketing book called Contagious. I don't know if anybody's heard of the book Contagious, but the theme of the book, or at least that's what I got from it, is top of mind, tip of tongue. Top of mind, tip of tongue. The more people think about you, the more people see you, the more they're going to talk about you because you're familiar. And the more people talk about you, the larger your business grows based off of our opportunities. You know how good it feels when you're speaking with somebody, and once again, you don't need to sell them on who you are. They already have a perception of who you are, and that person is the connector. That person is the local agent in the area because they sold the home in 3 days, so on and so forth. So all that makes sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So I'll send you guys, what I'll do is, David, I'm going to respond to the email you sent this morning with all these resources. So the timeline of what to do, videos, everything like that. And then I'll put a link in there too if anybody wants to do like a one-on-one remind. I know I just realized it's 8:54, so we can do a one-on-one, pick your farm area. I hope this inspired you guys to say, do I want to go, circle prospecting? Do I want to do the geography farming? Do I want to do the niche? But it's pick your audience. We build the list. What are we going to do with that list? What is the value we can create? And then this is our call to action. This is what we're giving you in exchange. And then just layering that over and over and over again. And that's how it works. The data is giving us the opportunity for those relationships. And if we have enough relationships, it's going to turn into business. The thing I love about real estate is it's not like I played baseball growing up. And in baseball, it's funny. Is Mark still here? No, he left.
Jumped off.
That's all good. So in baseball, you get judged on what's called your batting average. If you hit 300, 3 out of 10, you are amazing. In real estate, there's no average. Alexis, you will never get an award and it'll say 30 homes sold, but her conversion rate was 2%. No one cares, right? No one cares about the averages. They just care about the overall outcome. I could be an amazing agent. I could be the best agent there is and convert at 50%. And if I talk to 10 people, I'm going to close 5 deals. Shelly can close at a 10% rate, but if she talks to 100 people, she is going to double the amount of transactions I have. So I may be a better agent, but at the award ceremony, no one's thinking, yep, Chase did it better than Shelly. You know what I mean? And so I hope that all makes sense. A Remind is an amazing opportunity to get us in front of more people. And I hope this was able to provide you guys some context as to what you can do with that data and how to market to it. And like I said, I'll send the resources in the email so you guys have all of it. And then if there's any follow-up questions, we can jump on a one-on-one call. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I want to make sure I allow time for any questions if we have any, just the final 4 minutes.
Does your company service the Sarasota Bradenton area?
Yeah, we do. So I'll be down there probably tomorrow. We have two offices in Tampa, but one of the things and I'll share my screen to kind of pull this up. One of the things we've been seeing is where we're at, seller picks title, right? Or technically, yeah, seller picks title. Um, and a lot of times we have a lot of sellers who don't want to drive 20, 30 minutes to a title company and sign their portion and just to drive back and go to work, right? So what we've done is we've covered the cost of two things: remote online signings, which is essentially like a Zoom call where they can docu-sign all their seller packet. And then the other thing, we have mobile notaries in the area that have done, all of them have done at least 50 transactions with us. So they're well versed in real estate. It's not like a random notary that, just took the course online. And we can meet them where they're at, right? So if it's at work, if it's at their old home, if it's at a local Starbucks, so on and so forth, just to give them convenience, we will cover that cost. And that's baked into our closing fee. Does that make
Awesome.
sense?
Yes.
I want to show you guys, can I show you guys one thing about our title company, which I think is cool? Yes.
And while he's doing that, I'll say that because of he can do the Zoom call, he can be the remote closing. So I'm right now working on a deal where he'll be the closer and so forth. So it's really good, and his cost is less than the average. I think the average closer is probably charging 750 plus a lot of other hidden fees that he does not charge. His fees are less, and he doesn't have the other hidden fees like the wire, all that stuff. So could you speak a little bit to that too, the
Yeah,
benefits?
I mean, let's call it what it is. We're in a little bit of an affordability crisis, right?
Yes.
A lot of time, I've been at the closing table, right? I'm licensed. I've been at the closing table where you have a client and you get there and they're like, what's this fee? What's this fee? What's this fee? And you know, in your heart of hearts, that fee is just an extra fee. So whoever can make money. Like, why am I charging you a wire fee to send me money? Like a document prepping fee. Do you know what that is? We printed the documents out and put it in a folder. Why are we charging you $300 for it? And so it should be transparent. It shouldn't be a surprise at closing. And so we charge a 695 closing fee, and there's no additional fees on top of it. Once again, we cover the mobile notary, wire fee, so on and so forth.
That's
Um,
huge, guys.
I wanted to show you guys something just really quick. So one of the things we do too is, as an agent, I'm starting to see the power of video. And it used to be something that was an add-on, and now it's become a standard, right? Sellers expect it, but also buyers who are shopping are on social media, they're on YouTube, and they're finding a lot of these properties through video. And so one of the things we do is, if you have a listing, and there's certain requirements, and we can talk over it a little bit, but we will actually cover the cost of a professional video. So we send a videographer out there. You can be involved in the video. If you don't like being on camera, you don't have to. There's music involved too, but we do these videos. And I'll show you right here. This was 2 days ago. This was over in the Tampa area. And I will be super transparent with you guys. And pull up my email. Same address, new contract. These videos work. They sell the homes faster than without. And so that's one of the costs that we will cover for you to give you additional marketing. What does this do for you? It allows you to win more listing appointments because you're adding something that most sellers can't, or most agents aren't doing. It allows you to get your brand out. Once again, listings have babies. How are we marketing it to people? This is another way to do it. And then they're selling faster because you're getting in front of more people, right? Basic supply and demand. If I can get more eyes on this property or on this product, typically it's going to lead to a faster sale, and if it's a faster sale, it's probably going to lead to more money. Hope that makes sense. I didn't think we went for an hour. Time flew by. I will send you guys everything that I have, and hopefully we can do like a one-on-one call to go through what it is that your farm is and how we can go from there. Go
Could
for it.
you could you just in the chat put your contact information right there in the
Yeah,
chat
of
so everybody
course.
can
I'll do
see
that real
it
quick.
right now and they'll have it. And by the way, let's give him a great hand. Bruno Mars's little brother, Jason.
Appreciate it. That would be awesome. There's my cell if you guys just want to shoot me a text with your contact info. And once again, I'll respond to that email with all the resources and everything later today so you guys have access and we can jump on a call
Oh, here we go.
and go through it kind of one-on-one.
Yeah. So he's saying that if you call him, set an appointment, he will actually, if you don't have Remind, you don't know how to use Remind, he will actually work with you, create a list for your neighborhood, for your area, and provide you with the list and give you some assistance to get your farming started. So I'm telling you guys, you have no idea what Chase is offering. So
Yeah, that
big
is
props to
huge
this.
because Remind is like $200 a month.
Remind
So
Pro? Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah,
that is a really nice offer. We
that's a
appreciate that.
great
Yeah,
yes.
it
Yeah,
is.
no problem. No problem. And I think the goal for me is I don't want to just give you the list and say, hey, here you go. I want to be able to kind of collaborate with you on it and get the best ROI because, like if the law of reciprocity, right? If I can help you land more listings, I mean, that's a win for us at the end of the day, right? So
Yes.
the goal.
All right, so you got some things to
Fantastic.
do. So we're going to use Chase for closings. We're going to use him for the listing photos, and we'll also collaborate with him on the farming material and the remind. Chase, thank you so much for your time. Thank you everyone for being here. Have a great week. If you have any questions, reach out. And Chase, I'll make sure that you have some of the information that you need as well.
Cool. Awesome. Take
Thank
care,
you,
y'all.
Thank
Chase.
you.
Of course. Bye.
Thanks so
Bye,
much.
guys.